Well, a very good morning to you and warm welcome to Open Parliament live on the frequency. My name is Mr. C. Open Parliament is where we bring you the biggest stories in Nigeria, Abia, and beyond. Well, the midweek edition, the 23rd day in the month of October 2024. Well, to some of the biggest stories we are tracking this hour. The National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, has sensationally accused policemen and soldiers in Nigeria of stealing arms and ammunition from their formation, and not just that, selling them to criminal elements. Ribadu made the accusation in Abuja during the destruction of arms by the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons. In Abia State, the state government on Tuesday announced that it would begin the payment of the new minimum wage of 70,000 naira this month. The Commissioner for Information, Oke Kano, made this known at the Government House, Umuahi, on Tuesday, while addressing journalists on the outcome of this week's State Executive Council meeting presided over by Governor Alex Oti. These and more we'll talk about on the program this morning. My guest is the Chairman Governing Council, Institute for Security and Safety, Vice President, International Security Association, ISA, Fellow of Ethical Leadership from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, recipient of ZIGS Award on Innovation and Creativity, a pioneer inductee, National Integrity Hall of Fame, former Argonne Secretary General, a fellow of Chartered Institute of Forensics and Fraud Investigators of Nigeria, Interpol Systems Consultant and Security Expert, Sir Chikwe Udensi. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Mr. C. Thanks for having me.
Well, we're going to start first off with your forte and an area where you are an expert in, which is security. With a very disturbing revelation coming from none other than the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, where he sensationally accused policemen and soldiers of stealing arms and ammunition from their formation and selling them to criminal elements. Well, he made the disclosure in Abuja during the destruction of arms by the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons. Very disturbing, isn't it? And how did we get here?
Absolutely disturbing, but it is not something we do not know about. You recall, Mr. C, when Nuhu Ribadu was appointed the National Security Advisor, I took our time, also on this program, Open Parliament, I took our time to comment the appointment. I even wrote to government, I wrote to the president to thank him for appointing Nuhu Ribadu. Not because I like him personally, not because he's more educated than anybody, but I realized in my interaction with him in the Nigerian police force, when he was in the police, I realized that he had patent for the use of technology in security. Today, security is no more necessarily sobriety checks and the use of arms and ammunition. Technology plays almost 80 to 90% in curbing crime and also preventing crime. So the use of technology is very important. What has happened differently since Ribadu took over? In security, there is what we call the firearm index. Firearm index is it has a record of firearms For example, when you look at a vehicle has the vehicle identification number, VIN. Also, firearms have identification numbers. And the only way to find out if your own firearm is a firearm that has been used somewhere else or where has been recovered somewhere else is to look at the index. The firearm index, that number on the firearm, tells you who manufactured the firearm, who was it sold to. In fact, it also tells you who are the major dealers. The last 3 digits on the firearm index tells you that. That is what Ribadu have employed now. Ribadu employed the use of the firearm index, and in the use of that firearm index, he has found out that most of the firearms that have been recovered from criminals, bandits, kidnappers, were actually purchased by federal government and distributed to law enforcement agencies in Nigeria. Mr. C, that is very disturbing, extremely disturbing. When those who are supposed to protect life and property, they are now those who are committing criminality and crime, it leaves you with a sour taste in the mouth. What do we mean by that? We're talking about the enemy within, the one whose job it is to fight against criminality is the one who is committing this crime. But let us not lose sight of the fact that we know why this is that way. We have said it over and over that you cannot pay the level of salaries we pay today to people you are handing over arms and ammunition to. You cannot do that. Today, we have a situation where our law enforcement agencies, especially the Nigerian police force, whose duty is to internal security of the nation. It is the primary agency in charge of the internal security of our country. They are overworked and they are underpaid. That is the major problem, Mr. C. It creates a problem. When you allow those who are at the gate to be able to be bribed, when they become vulnerable to bribery and corruption, you are making a very big mistake in law enforcement. So today, Air Force, Nigerian Police, DFS, the Army, they have turned to be beggars. If you want to find out what I'm telling you, don't even go to the Army headquarters. Visit the Army headquarters. From the point of the gate, people are begging you money. Visit the police headquarters. From the gate, people are begging you money. Other agencies too. You enter a ministry, at the gate they are begging. You enter even the Ministry of Justice, at the gate, people are begging. You enter a hotel, at the gate, you enter a hotel, they are begging. When those whose job it is to secure you, when they are compromised, there is no security. Well, we have also seen other areas that they have complained about, because what we did here was we realized that let us talk to those. I served 2 terms on police welfare reforms. We asked them one-on-one, what is the problem? One of them, I remember very clearly, he said, I think he was a sergeant then, I think he was a sergeant. He said, today, I earn less than 30,000 naira. That was then. I earn less than 30,000 naira. And you are giving me a politician who has embezzled billions to go and investigate. If I get there and he gives me 20 million out of the billions he has stolen, what will I do? That is what an officer was telling us. A policeman. So it shows you that what we have been crying and shouting over time, let us pay a livable wage, especially to those who do essential services. Security is a very essential service in any society. Where the security is lacking, nothing works and works very well. A policeman also is a mirror of the society. If the society is corrupt, the policeman will be corrupt. The soldier will be corrupt. The law enforcement agents will be corrupt. We have a very corrupt society today, where corruption has encompassed all areas, all sectors of our economy, all sectors of all areas in our process. That is where we are today. And it's very unfortunate. We hope that will come to judgment.
Very unfortunate indeed. And the National Security Advisor on the day, he did talk about the country finding a way to put in a stop to this unhealthy practice, which is what you have talked about there. Livable wage apparently should be the way to go. But in terms of this arms and ammunition that are in the hands of criminals, from his disclosure, is there a possibility for a mop-up, if you like? And then how can we put the stop of this happening, if you could have an addition to the livable wage, which you talked about?
Yeah, I remember very vividly that we gave a system. I cannot explain that here very well. We gave out a system where you can mop up the arms and ammunition in non-government functionaries' hand, non-state actors. We wanted to mop up all the arms and ammunition. We have the system. We are giving it to government, but I cannot explain it here. You understand? It has some security implications. And moreover, government have not acted on that yet. So this is the system. Yes, you can mop up from private hands, from criminal hands, arms and ammunition. But more importantly, stop the supply of that arms and ammunition by making sure that those you have given this arms and ammunition are not tempted to survive. The first law of man and humanity is survival. The first law of life is survival. If you carry arms and ammunition and give to a very hungry man, and he is very, very hungry, they will do what they used to do. I heard them the other day singing a song, which was very unfortunate. We shall use what we have to get what we need. They were singing that song. We shall use what we have to get what we need. That is human. We're not saying it is acceptable. We're not saying it is encouraging. But we're saying it is human. This is what we see. Do not give somebody you are paying so poorly, that is so hungry, you give him arms and ammunition to go and protect the society, where every day they are seeing the lifestyle of politicians. They are seeing how exuberant politicians are. They are seeing how politicians are enjoying our commonwealth with reckless abandon. They are seeing the serious numbers of convoys in brand new vehicles when they can't even afford a vehicle themselves. Let me give you a very disturbing one, Mr. C. The Inspector General of Police today, the highest man in the police circles, the highest officer is called the Inspector General of Police. If he relies on his salary, he cannot train his children in school. That is the truth. And if we know that, how do we now expect him to survive without looking elsewhere to survive himself? That is what we should look at. Let us emulate the whole world where things are working. We should pay livable wage, not minimum wage. We should pay wages that sustains individuals. Then that is when we can have the moral right. That is when we can have the moral authority to say, you're a criminal, we are going to punish you. But when you pay peanuts and they cannot survive, you wouldn't have the moral right to criticize or condemn them.
Well, let's get to Abia State now, where it seems civil servants in the state will receive the new 70,000 national minimum wage. And not in a long time, that's going to happen from this month. And this is according to the Commissioner for Information, OK Kano. Well, he made the disclosure at the government house here yesterday while addressing newsmen on the outcome of this week's State Executive Council meeting presided over by the governor. So, the back and forth apparently will be brought to rest. At a point in time, it was, is it going to be? Would it not? Is the government going to stick to the national minimum wage? Is it going to be a situation where there would be a downside negotiation of the minimum wage? But here we are.
Yes. Well, let me commend the government. If the government is now ready to pay the minimum wage, let me commend them. It's a step in the right direction. Though we have always said that 70,000 is not enough. But like they say, half loaf is better than none. We thank the government that they are now going to start. But we question, one may ask, a professional like me, who have also done several adjustments, salary adjustments. The question is the state government using? Well, today we know that what the law have said, as from July, when it was signed into law, we're not talking about from October. They are trying to implement it from October, but it was signed into law in July. From the time it was signed into law, it says that the minimum payment for any worker should be 70,000 naira. And what I mean by 70,000 naira is grade 1, step 1, level 1, step 1. That's what it means. If that is what you are going to pay grade 1, step 1, what is the structural adjustment? How have you consequentially adjusted it? What is the consequential adjustment of step 2, step 3 to step 17? Because there are adjustments to go all the way down. Or are you just stopping halfway? We don't understand what the government has proposed to do. But don't forget also that we have about 5 adjustment templates worldwide. We have the U.S. adjustment template. If the U.S. adjusts their minimum wage today, in 24 hours, it is taken across the board. We also have the European template. We have the UK template. We have the African template that's being used by South Africa, Ghana, Republic of Benin, our neighbors. They use the African template. And we also have what we call the universal templates. I took part in police welfare reforms, so I understand these templates. So I don't know which one the state government is using. Are they using the universal template, or are they using African template, where from grade level 1 to 17, there's an automatic structural adjustment equivalent to what they earn. I do not know exactly what the state government is doing, but let me commend them. They're hoping that they'll do what is right.
Well, talking about doing what is right, there was a committee set up by the government to ensure that those adjustments are done. And we understand part of that committee, we have the labor side of it as well. Maybe, Abian, shouldn't we keep our fingers crossed and have the committee disclose what templates they would use, you think?
Absolutely. We are waiting to hear from the government, not necessarily from the committee. It is the government that sets up the committee. The job of the committee will be to advise from government to see which of those templates they want to use. The most conservative of all the templates is the UK template, not even the European template. The UK template is very conservative. It is more conservative than African templates. But let us see the template the government wants to use to adjust systematically. In fact, if I remember very well, we call that structural adjustment system. That is what it is all about. Adjustment of this system. It's a system. In fact, once you apply it, it rolls over to all the levels that are concerned. You don't need to physically start changing grade level 1 to 2. You do no. Once you have chosen a template, the template will systematically adjust from grade level 01, which you have acknowledged to be 70,000. It goes straight all the way to grade level 17. It can be done within hours. It is not something you start setting up committees. No, it is the templates are there already. You can use the templates. And I'm very disturbed that since this was signed into law, I'm talking about July, has become a law in our country, and we are still talking about committees. We should have been talking about stopping committees just 1 week, because I remember very clearly that even the African template is automated. It doesn't even take more than 3 or 4 days. When South Africa increased their minimum wage, it went automatic. In less than 3 days, it reflected across the board. Also, when Ghana did that, not too long ago, Ghana increased their minimum wage to be equidistant to inflationary trends that was happening around the world, and it adjusted automatically. Not to talk of America. If you talk about from grade level 01 to 17, it will structurally adjust to make sure that the necessities are taken care of.
Well, it's 23 minutes gone past 9. It's Open Parliament. Interpol Systems consultant and security expert, I guess, still. My name is Mr. C. Well, one through taxes, isn't it? With the Christian Association of Nigeria, the Abia State expressing displeasure over the state government's policy of what they called compelling churches to pay taxes on their signpost. Well, can in a statement appeal to the government to immediately rescind the decision to avoid compelling the body of Christ from seeing the administration as what they called anti-churches. Well, the letter was signed by the state CAN chairman, Reverend Ojojo Uduma, and the state CAN secretary, Reverend Dr. Francis Okere. Well, it emphasized that the policy could be perceived as anti-church and asked the governor to carefully review the situation and possibly revoke the decision to prevent negative sentiments against the administration from the Christian community. What is this about? Have you stumbled on it? Have you seen through?
Yes, I saw the letter. In fact, my attention was called to the letter when my staff was going through one of the Advertising Regulatory Commission's provisions, and he saw the letter from CAN Abia State, the Christian Association of Nigeria of Abia State, and he called my attention to it. I went through the letter, and I also went through the Regulatory Commission's advertisement Regulatory Commission provisions in our country. You do not run foul of that provision. I don't know the angle the state government is coming from, whether it is essentially to ensure that the provisions of the Regulatory Commission is gone with, or whether they just want to raise revenue. But whichever one it is, if a church chooses to advertise, they must abide by the Regulatory Commission's provisions. We're a country of laws. We're not a disorderly country. If the law says that if you put your signpost out there, you must have to pay for that signpost, well, everybody must have to abide by that, whether you're a church or you're a business. After all, today, what we have is that almost every church today is a business. Almost all the churches today are businesses. And if you look at it from that angle, you begin to see that one should commend the state government for ensuring that the Regulatory Commission's provision, the Advertisement Regulatory Commission's provision, is adhered to. Let the churches, let them operate within the confines of the laws of the land. One of the areas, if you recall, Mr. C, on this program, I said The churches are doing quite a whole lot that which are violating very, very seriously. They are violating our laws and they are violating our rules. I am a knight of St. Christopher, don't get me wrong. I'm a Christian, a very strong one for that matter. But we must have to obey our laws. Look at the indiscriminate ways by which churches are being set up today. Peace and lover of concord. What lover of concord means? He loves orderliness. Our God is not a disorderly God. Our God is author of peace and lover of concord. He loves concord. He loves orderliness. Our churches today and those who are promoting them have chosen to be very disorderly, and they're hiding under the cloaks of it being for God. If it is for God, it ought to be orderly, and it ought to obey the rules and regulations of the country. I recommend and commend the government to ensure that all churches meet the provisions of our laws, and nobody should be exempt from that.
So the administration to be seen as anti-church.
Well, there is nothing you have to do about it. If anybody wants to have a definition to it, the important thing is to do what is right. If you want to run a system where you please everybody, then you must have to go and sell ice cream. If you want to be the management of people and wealth, you must have to do what is right. Whosoever violates the provisions of our laws should be made to account for it. Here, we have an advertising regulatory commission. If they are saying that anybody who puts out signboard there, you are liable to some cost, of course you must have to pay it, whether you're a church or not a church. It is not anti-Christ, it is not anti-church, it is not anti-Christianity. It is doing the right thing. And if I'm in government, if I'm in charge, I will make sure the rules and regulations are obeyed to the letter.
We'll take a break here. It's Open Parliament live on the frequency. Don't forget, ABN Radio and TV streaming this live. Our guest is Interpol Systems Consultant and Security Expert, Chikwe Udensi. My name is Mr. C. When we return from the break, we'll do a little of politics with the November 2nd local government elections drawing pretty close. And the back and forth within the ranks of the governing party, the Labour Party, with the recent arrest of its national vice chairman, Southeast, Mr. Chikwe Udensi, creating a bit of... And there being permutations that those who have got the blessings of the governor would jump the party. What does it mean as far as the governing party is concerned? Stay with us.
Hey, here's a question for you. What gets you out of bed in the morning? Is it the sunrise? The sound of your alarm? No, it's that dream, that drive, that unstoppable... Your day strong with the rich, creamy taste of Nescafe Original 3-in-1, carefully crafted from selected coffee beans. So, whatever your hustle, go from maybe or I can't to I can and I will. Nescafe Original 3-in-1. Start strong, finish strong.
In today's fast-changing world of news, the big news, the headline.
On the highlight, military plans another Python dance. Ex-minister returns to U.S.
The persons behind the headline.
No provision is there for fuel subsidy. The fuel subsidy is gone. We shall continue the effort of the Buhari administration. We must now, more than ever before, come together to pull Abia State out of our current sorry state and quagmire. I must also state that our state has never been this divided along ethnic lines.
Any reactions to be from the police? This happened in the commercial center of the state in Aba, in a hotel there where they were said to be having a meeting, party stakeholder studies, in preparation for the said elections. A reaction quickly followed from the state working committee of the party, and that led by the side said to be loyal to the governor, and that is Honorable Emmanuel Ngweze Oti. Released a statement saying his arrest was carried out by virtue of the fact that he was invited or petitioned for impersonation and extortion. And so many other issues were being given, and that the police did invite him. He failed to hit to the invite of the police. What do you make of what happened, sir? Are you worried that the governing party has spiraled to this point, the crisis rocking the party?
I'm not necessarily concerned about Labour Party. I'm very concerned about the fundamentals of our society. Where are we? And what are we doing that we're not doing right? You will recall, Mr. C, that last year, 2023, after the governorship elections in Abia State, there was serious back and forth about who won the election. I made our time to travel to Owerri after Professor Mrs. Oti did what was right. I made our time to travel to Owerri 3 times to go and meet with her, to thank her for doing a good job and to fulfill my promise of giving her money for doing what is right. You see, we were very, very happy that maybe we are beginning to see a society where things are done and done properly. My concern and my frustration is that, am I going to spend so much money, spend so much time, and why the whole of Abians are rejoicing that we now have something new? Are we now going to go back and see that we are back in Egypt, that we have not actually left Egypt? Are we going to have a government that does not respect the rule of law, that is not transparent, that is not honest, in their disposition? Are we now going to say that we have a government that will use law enforcement against its citizens in a very illegal manner and very dishonest manner? I had the privilege to speak with Mr. Igara when he was released. I tried to reach him when I heard what was going on, but I couldn't get him. But when he was released, I heard from him. After hearing from him, I then decided to call the office of the Commissioner of Police in Abia State. It was difficult to reach him, but I spoke to his senior staff there, who told me that the instruction was given to the Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of State CID. So I decided to get in touch with the Deputy Commissioner of Police to know exactly what the situation is. I spoke to him for a long time, Mr. Shafa, and I told him very clearly that the use of law enforcement agents by government against perceived enemies or perceived people who hold different opinions against government is very wrong, extremely very wrong. Since after that time, Mr. C, I've written to the IG again. I said, IG, state governments are using the instrumentalities of security to oppress people. And this is very peculiar with Abia State government. Abia State government uses the army, they use the police, they use DSS. Well, DSS they have not been able to use very much. But NDLE, I'm talking from a front row point of view, because this is also happening.
But is it readily fair to accuse the state government and what transpired with CK Gara when the party in the state has said, hey, we are responsible because we did petition him for impersonation and extortion. He was invited. He failed to adhere to the invitation of the police. The reason why what happened happened.
That's right. I asked the very clear question. Why was he invited? And the answer was impersonation. Then I asked the area commander, impersonation of who? Are you not aware of the judgment? Party? Are you not aware of that? If anybody is impersonated, it is the man who has written the petition. The chairman of Felixoti who wrote the petition. I tried to reach him. And let me tell you very clearly, Mr. C, I have worked in security for more than 30 years. And I have understood how politics works, especially where the use of law enforcement is involved. No law enforcement agent will ever go to do anything if there is no authority from up. If there's no action from up, they won't do that. That is why I was very, very angry with not just the commander, the CID commander. I also called his 2IC, Mr. Koro, who is also a deputy commissioner of police, and I spoke to him. We must not be using law enforcement agencies to achieve the purpose of politicians. Especially, Mr. C, if you consider what we passed through in Abia State and we got where we are today, anybody who wants us to go back to the dark days, they are making a big mistake. We will not go back to the dark days. I will condemn anybody who wants us to do that. What do I mean by that, Mr. C? One of the reasons why Lesotho won election is that Abians wanted change. The change Abians wanted was transparency, honesty of purpose, and also working for the state. When we saw the lapses in the previous government, that was why everybody went for Lesotho. Not that Lesotho is a handsome man or that he has enormous powers nobody else has, but because everybody wanted a change in Abia State. If we are going to now use the instrumentality of security, if we are going to use security agencies against the people, it is very disturbing. I'm saying this in the light of the fact that we have also noticed what happened in my own community, Arochukwu, where the police, the army, and the NDLEA was used against those who were against what specifically the state was doing. That is where we are concerned. How can you use the soldiers whose job is to protect the territorial integrity of our nation? You bring them into a community to harass, intimidate the people. That is what the Abia state government is doing. If people don't condemn it, then we are going to go back to square one. And also, I have written very strongly to the Nigerian police force. In fact, when the last time we had a commandant of the CID, when the last time he did something that was wrong, we went straight to the Inspector General of Police and said, IGP, this is unacceptable. Throw this man away from Abia State. And the man was removed. He was sent, Mr. Sani was removed, the deputy commissioner. He was removed. This time around, we are going to accept a situation where we are trying to make sure that law enforcement is used for the benefit of the people, and the state government uses that law enforcement to suppress the people, to oppress people, and to do ills when people like us are around and we are shouting, let us do it and do it right. Mr. C, we are going to stop it in whatever ways we can. If it is the police, we are going to go to the Inspector General of Police and say, we cannot allow this. Not just in Abia, nationwide. If it is the army, I hope the Chief of Army Staff recovers very well. He has been very sick. He's on sabbatical leave. Well, I hope he'll recover. But by the time he recovers, we are not far away from Lagbaja, the General Lagbaja, who is Chief of Army Staff. We must not allow situations like this to continue. It is only when good people keep quiet, that is when that evil will continue. Today, we have a situation where the state government is associated directly with the act of using law enforcement that is meant to protect the people against the people. That we will not allow. And we'll fight it with everything we have, Mr. C.
Well, it's Open Parliament still, the midweek edition, reaching in live from the Frequency. Interpol Systems Consultant and Security Expert, Chikwe Udensi, our guest still. Time now to do the phone lines, 0816-111-5955 or 0907-103-6625. 1 minute, 30 seconds if your call comes through. Let's have a first. Good morning to you.
Mr. C, remain listed.
Good morning.
You will never go down in life. Excellent.
Thank you.
Yes. I love listening to whenever you talk. And you talk constructively, criticize constructively. And you advise. God in a godly way. Give fatherly advice. And let me keep on keeping on. Where we get angry is when people that rule us started advising. You can see a failure advising a successful somebody.
And then react to the issues.
I'm talking. The church people paying for, and you have to clarify us. It's not even bad for them to pay. You see people that when they were in government, you see, they charge all. They will use SA. All the Agros, they are SAs. That's why when they say we don't use Agros, they say, why are you stopping Agros? We provide something for them to work. They will, you see, they use A and Agros, SSA. Now you have paid it out to this. But what we are saying is that level problem is internal problem. It's not you're not using it to pursue pensioners. You see what you had pensioners demonstrated. They now use even my own father, they remove one of these tools. You see, doing that because they demonstrated. The state committee is not about the state committee for pensioners. All the for state commissioners using 2.1 years.
Okay. Okay.
So when you're talking about with the money.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Excellent. Your time is up. We have another caller. Hello. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning, Mr. C.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, my name is Kolek Sidadinabog, and I'm calling from Omaya this morning.
Welcome.
Like the way you put your things, Chikwe Udensi, I cannot just but appreciate you, for saying the truth, hitting it the way it doesn't matter whether anybody likes it or not. You see, the issue of this act, the Christians have turned into a business venture. In fact, I can tell you today that the most flourishing businesses that we have in Nigeria today is either church or politics. And these business centers that are popping up every nook and cranny, they should be paying taxes. You can't be. Jesus paid taxes. Jesus paid tax. I don't know why they would just pick a particular side of the Bible and forget about the rest of it. Look at it today, that the GOs are the ones flying private jets. Yes, they don't pay taxes. But when they go abroad, they pay taxes there. Who's fooling who?
All right.
This nonsense have got to stop. I'm supporting the state government on this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your take. Hello, good morning. We have another caller.
Good morning, Mr. C.
Good morning to you.
I'm Chikwe Udensi from the area. Good morning, Nyelaba. Church. That church issue. I remember one day yesterday for carry they needed this change. All these church people they come out to they pray from one junction to one junction. All these men of God, the governor, I saw him they go see them one by one. They call meeting. Tell them when he come in go to church, he go do this. What do you mean they talk? Don't you know go do this prayer, this start when they give this people. These people converse, go turn their prayer. Because I don't want these people pass in the pray. Nobody to carry us. So why must see the whole area? The whole area need money pass everybody. Pass everywhere. We go there for that. No matter the money of this stuff now don't increase. When the person was there 4 billion. Now money they go 15 billion. What do they carry all these tax they do?
Right.
Tax. Now people in the tax, Nigeria struggle.
Right.
Because he tax church now. How you go tax member? I think what that's Sunday now. Some say make we pay for Saturday, make we give offering for Saturday tax.
Thank you.
People go run for church.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. We appreciate your take. We're still taking the calls. 1 minute, 30 seconds. Don't forget. Hello, good morning. We have another caller.
Good morning, Mr. C.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir, from outside the Christian Kingdom. Good morning, Chikwe Udensi.
Good morning, sir.
My take one is on this issue of the 70,000 minimum wage. You know, I read the press release by the state government, and at some point I was a bit startled where they said they have confirmed that level 1, step 1 will start receiving. So I'm now asking, is this step 1, level 1 that will be paid? What of other consequential adjustments? These are the issue. And of course, my source at the NLC says that NLC is not aware of this announcement by the government because they have a committee that they have set up, and that committee has only sat once, so that they may likely come out with their own statement. So that's by the way. Chikwe Udensi, I want to salute you once again. You see, when people come out and speak against evil, that evil will go. Yes, we all clamor for a change, and that change has come. But you're not asking yourself, in this change, what has changed? My only fear is that they're not even carrying a policeman to go and arrest a Ghana who gave Alex Oti ticket to become governor in Labour. They went with hooded policemen. Why would they cover their faces, Mr. Chikwe Udensi? Why would police in our own state go to arrest people who are the party members, they are party members? You covered your face. No. It's a big blow for Dr. Alex Oti.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your take. Open Parliament still taking your calls. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. C.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Chikwe Udensi.
Good morning, sir.
This is Mr. Eze Nikalo. That was from Abion Hope local government area. The homeowners.
Welcome.
Number one community, what does it?
Welcome.
Mr. Chikwe Udensi, I must commend you. From all your indication, the analysis you have given shows that you are well balanced. Even I've learned something this morning concerning the templates you analyzed. It's a good one. And I want to equally commend the governor for him to reaffirm his promise that he will still pay come end of this month. It's a welcome development. So I really commend him for that. Because this is not what we have been experiencing in Abia. That has shown that really we are in a new Abia. So I commend him for that. And I know all the workers in Abia, all of them will smile at the end of this month. and I commend him. Even other things he has been doing, he's doing well. And I pray that God will help him to sustain his good works in Abia. We have come to witness a turnaround. The story of Abia has changed. So God will continue to bless him. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you. Have a nice day too. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. P.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, please, go do my.
Welcome.
Truly, Abia has changed. The change is seen everywhere. I want to thank our speaker there, Mr. Chikwe Udensi, who has always been out for the right thing to be done in the state and in the federal level. May God continue to help him and bless him in Jesus' name.
Amen.
My take on the local government election issue is, now, we have a problem in Labour Party, a heavy problem, and our governor is trying to know how to manage the situation. And for now, since there is a big fracas between him and the leaders of Labour, I don't know how. I appeal to our speaker there to give him a suggestion on what to do, because right now there is a serious problem in Labour Party, which everybody should know that there is a serious problem because this man Abure is being suspected to be working for AP. So I don't know how we can maintain these policies and SOC is trying to make through Labour Party. So if it's best for him to go to another party and contest, good. Because if Labour Party continue with this pattern, there's no way we can continue to vote for Labour Party. Because as long as Abure is there, for me, I can't vote for Labour Party again. As long as Abure is there, I can't vote for Labour Party. So I think we should find a way to solve this problem.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Let's take this as the last. This you have 1 minute. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What is my name?
Welcome. 1 minute.
I have always listened to Chikwe Udensi. He has always straightforward. Even those who praise him now, we are the people who are crucifying him. I thank him so much because he don't talk because of party. He will tell you what is the right. I want to talk about this Nuvadi. Yes, for this you have mentioned some areas. You see, part of the problem we are having in this security, whoever that's coming, apart from Jonathan, we try to pick his people from his religion, people from his ethnic group. And those people cannot be honest in whatever they are doing. Those are the people that are bringing this weapon that we are talking about. Go and check it. It will come from those areas. How do they sanction them? If they don't address that issue, the problem will continue to happen. There's this allegation, which I don't know whether it's true or not, that Lubadinadu call the imams and tell them, let them find a way to work with this bandits, so-called people that have arrested. How do they find a way instead of exposing them?
Right.
And if this type of thing are happening, then all these small arms will continue to exist.
All right.
It's coming to the state government. Sorry, please.
Well, with this 1 minute, apologies, sincere apologies. We'll have to let you go here because of time. Well, let's get to our guest for a summation in just 45 seconds, if we will, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. C. As a security consultant with enormous experience in this area, without sounding immodest, I've always advised those who find themselves in positions of authority, do not abuse power. If you abuse power, the consequences are so much. I have made this advice. I've given this advice severally to people. When you find yourself in positions where you are given the privilege to superintend over people, whether it is the personnel you are superintending or the resources of the people you are superintending, do not abuse it. History has shown us that when you abuse power, the consequences are always very there. That is the advice I've given to several people. I've also given this to those who are in law enforcement today. In fact, I had the privilege to call the commandant, the commander of the brigade in Ahafia, General Dia, and I advised him, do not abuse power. If you abuse power, the consequences are very many.
All right.
Take those who have abused power. Whenever you abuse power, the anger and the wrath of God is always against you. Do not abuse power. That is my advice for everybody.
Thank you
who
very
find themselves in authority.
Thank you very much, Chikwe Udensi, for coming through on the program this morning.
Thanks for always having me, Mr. C.
Thanks, listener. I will do it again tomorrow. Next week, same time, same station, the midweek edition. My name is Mr. C. Now is the newsroom for the news at 10. Stay with us. wire.
Bed in the morning is at the sunrise.